Good morning and welcome back to Joseph's Reserves. I'm Joseph and I store 20% of my income in the form of rare coins and precious metals. Gold gets all the attention and silver gets all the hype, but there's one metal that almost nobody talks about. And the question is, does it actually deserve a place in your stack? Or is it just another distraction pulling you away from what actually works? Congratulations to Janice McDonald for being the first comment in my last video. Thank you so much for the support. Go down into the comment section to find her and start a conversation. Today we are talking about platinum, not from a hype perspective, not from a this is going to the moon, or from a you need to buy this right now mindset. We are going to take a look at platinum the way a stacker should actually take a look, because there's a big difference between something interesting and something that actually deserves a place in your stack. And that's where I think a lot of people get this wrong. So by the end of the video, you're going to know exactly where platinum fits, who it's for, and whether or not it actually belongs in what you are building. So first, let's understand what platinum actually is. Platinum is a precious metal, but it behaves very different than gold and silver. If silver was a monetary metal with a bit of an industrial demand, platinum is an industrial metal with a bit of a monetary demand. That difference right there is everything, because gold mostly sits in vaults, silver gets stacked and used in industry, but platinum gets used a lot. It goes into catalytic converters, medical equipment, and industrial processes. And because of that, its price doesn't move based on fear or inflation, it moves based on strength of the economy. When things are strong, platinum tends to do well, and when things slow down, platinum can struggle. And that's completely different behavior than what most stackers are used to. So, if platinum behaves differently, why are people starting to talk about it again? There are a few main reasons you're going to hear. The first one is the price relationships, specifically how platinum compares to gold. You'll hear people talk about how platinum used to trade at a premium to gold, and now it trades at a discount. And that creates this idea of it being severely undervalued. The second is supply. Platinum production is heavily concentrated in a few regions of the world, and that creates a situation where if something goes wrong in those areas, supply can tighten very quickly. And the third piece is the industrial demand. As technology evolves and emission standards change, as new systems are developed, platinum continues to have real world use. So when you get all of these together, you get the narrative of a low relative price, a tight supply, and a strong future demand. And on the surface, that sounds like a great opportunity. But this is where we need to take it down a notch. Because just because something could go up doesn't mean it belongs in your stack. Platinum is not gold. Gold is stability, gold is money, gold is what people run to when things are going wrong. It doesn't rely on industrial demand, it doesn't rely on economic growth, and it doesn't need things to be working smoothly. In fact, gold often does best when things are breaking. Platinum is the opposite. Platinum depends on things going right. It needs manufacturing, it needs production, it needs demand from the industry. So, right away, it does not serve the same purpose as gold in your stack. If gold is your anchor, platinum is not that. Platinum is also not silver. If we talk about silver, silver sits right in the middle. It has some industrial demand, but it also has a strong monetary demand from stackers and investors. And that gives silver a very broad base. You've got industry pulling on it, you've got investors stacking it, and you've got retail demand consistently flowing into it. Platinum doesn't have that. There's no massive retail stacking wave for platinum. There's no widespread, every stacker needs this mentality. This is a much smaller market, and because of that, it behaves very differently. Another issue with platinum is the liquidity and spreads. Now, this is one of the biggest points almost nobody talks about. Platinum is a lot harder to sell. It's not impossible, it's just harder. Your local coin shop might not be interested in it, and if they are, they'll probably be paying you less for it. These spreads are often wider, which means when you buy it, you're paying more over spot, and when you sell it, you will most likely be getting under spot. And that creates a whole lot of friction. And the more friction you have, the harder it is for a metal to perform. So we're not just asking, will platinum go up? You start to ask now, how much does it have to go up for me to break even? And that's a very different question. So now that we understand how platinum behaves, what it is and what it is not, let's answer the real question. Where does platinum actually fit? If you're a beginner stacker, if you're just starting out, platinum is not where you start. You need a foundation. That foundation is built on two things: silver for weight and gold for stability. Silver helps you build ounces, and gold helps you preserve that value. That's your base. Platinum does not replace either of those. So if you're just getting into stacking, platinum is a distraction. It's not because it's bad, it's just because it's not what you need right now. Instead, focus on building up your silver stack. I suggest building that to a point that it will cover any emergency fund. Then focus on a little bit of gold. And once you feel firm in your foundation of your gold and silver, then we can start to move on. Once you've built that foundation, now things start to change. Now you have a little bit more options. And now you can start looking at your stack as a system instead of just accumulation. This is where platinum can start to make sense, but also in small amounts, maybe 5% or 10% of your holdings, not as a core holding, but just as a strategic addition. At this stage, you're not trying to replace gold and silver, you're just adding a whole new layer. Then we can move on to some advanced stackers. This is where platinum really becomes interesting. At the advanced level, you're not just stacking, you're positioning. You're looking at the relationship between the metals, you're paying attention to how different assets move relative to each other, and you're making decisions based on opportunity. Platinum fits here. This is the real opportunity metal in this sort of environment within your stack. Not something you always buy, but something you buy when the conditions make sense. So, when does platinum actually make sense? First, when you have your foundation. You need the gold and silver first. Second, when the pricing relationship is attractive, not just in absolute terms, not just when it's low, but relative to other metals. And third, when you're looking long term. Platinum is not a short term flip, it requires a lot more patience. So let's go the other direction. When does platinum not make sense? Because this is just as important. Platinum doesn't make sense if you're just starting out. It doesn't make sense if you need liquidity. And it does not make sense if you don't fully understand how it behaves. Because if you treat platinum like gold, you're going to be very confused. And if you treat platinum like silver, you're going to be quite frustrated. At the end of the day, stacking is not about collecting metals randomly. It's about building a system. Every metal you add should have a purpose. Gold brings stability, and silver brings growth and accessibility. And platinum? Well, platinum brings opportunity, but also complexity. A key takeaway here is that a strong stack isn't built by chasing every opportunity. It's built by sticking to a structure that keeps your emotions low and your time in the market high. And when you do that, you don't just build a bigger stack, you build a more stable and far less stressful one over time. I just made my own line of coffee. Joseph's Reserves It's Today Again coffee. Most mornings aren't dramatic, they're quiet. You wake up, pour yourself a cup, and now you have a choice: drift through the day or take hold of what's in front of you. That's really what this whole thing's about: showing up, building good habits, staying disciplined in the small things. Whether that's stacking consistently, learning something new, or just being faithful with what you've been given. I put these words on every bag to remind myself first. Every morning is a gift. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, today. So take a breath, take a sip, and let's get to work. It's today again. You can now write me at Joseph's Reserves, 10160 Highway 242, Suite 800, number 401 in Conroe, Texas, zip code 77385. Make sure to include your information so I can write you back. If you like this video, go down and give it a thumbs up. Go into the comment sections to start a conversation with someone you know or are meeting for the first time. Share the video if you know anyone that might like it, and subscribe if you haven't already. But most of all, thank you so much for watching. And just remember, every ounce adds up, so no matter how small, just keep stacking.